In the last video, we cleaned out the firebox and took down the baffle in this Regency i2400. In this video, we're actually going to remove the blower and make sure that it's clean and ready for next year. So this down here is the blower assembly, which is underneath the ash lip. Switches are on this side, cord comes out that side, it's all unplugged right now. And so this is just clipped into some brackets underneath here, but it can be a little bit tricky to get this out. You can't really see it around the corner, but there's a little gap here. When I put this in, I kind of leave a small gap. Maybe I'll move the camera to show that. So the lighting's not great, but here I already worked my finger in a little bit and pulled this out slightly, but that's the gap that I'm talking about. So if I just give that a tug, now that side's free. I'll go ahead and do the same thing on the other side to get this separated. So the left side here is already separated. Let's see if we can. It may be tricky to get this other side. You gotta kind of work both sides together. There we go. So she slides out and it's just a little bit dusty in there. And that's what I'm gonna clean up just with the vacuum cleaner. So here's a look inside the blower unit. I'll just show you the parts here. Right here, this is your temperature sensor that sits right up against the face of the stove up under there, and that actuates and turns the blower on when the stove is in the correct temperature range. Here I have not cleaned this yet, but you can see you've got a fan here on the left and another fan on the right. And then when you look underneath here, you can see there's a channel or a passageway on the left and one on the right for the convection chamber. And so this blower is basically blowing air in the bottom there, and it's circulating around the back of the firebox and coming out the top. So what I'm gonna do is just take the vacuum, I'll kind of stick it up in those chambers to pull out some of the spider webs, dust, and various other things. And then we'll be able to go ahead and put the blower back in once I've vacuumed it all out. Okay, now we'll go ahead and vacuum the blower itself. I basically took the housing, I turned it so that the front is now resting on the floor on the hearth so that it's showing to the camera better. We'll go ahead and vacuum it out. right, that should be good. Next we'll go ahead and put it back in. So we're ready to reinstall the blower. I just want to show you, here's the little groove that it slides into and hangs on right there, and there's the same one on the opposite side. And what happens is there's this tab here, and there's the same one on the other side here, and those actually slide into that groove, and that's how it mounts and hangs on the stove. Okay, so taking this unit, I'm just going to slide it back up to the stove and aligning it up, and then I have to actually lift it up, and when I keep it up flush against that ash lip, it will find its way, center it a little, it finds its way into that groove. And so the left now is in, this side just needs a little tap, maybe a little tap right there, another little tap over here. You just kind of work it back and forth in there, and there it is. So it's now back installed on the i2400. That's all there is to it.